60 October. Now the battle is over. This the date we've been waiting to celebrate. Nigeria is free. Balewa,
free.
Azikwe,
free.
Our law was a downer.
Nigeria is free.
The Independence Calypso, Miss Independence is chosen and admired. The magic word is everywhere as the capital city of Lagos goes gay with decorations arranged by the man who decorates our own Regent Street for Christmas. It's self-government free from slogans, a time for celebration, not recrimination. Half a century of British rule ended at midnight on September the 30th. The ceremony is over, the celebrations can begin. The state ball, a glittering occasion, a great gathering of Nigeria's leaders and their guests from many parts of the world, but marked by that capacity for easy informality which the princess clearly shares with the people of Nigeria. High life on a very high level. But all over the new country now, Nigerians on every level begin their own celebrations with floats and festivals, parades and processions, acrobats and dancing. In the north, as you'll see, the traditional charge of a horseman. At any time, Nigerians are great people for a show or a party. They don't need any excuse. But this time they had a reason, the greatest of all. For they're celebrating the climax of years of patient preparation by British and Nigerians alike. Their coming of age as a nation. Independence given and taken with perfect concord, without bloodshed and without rancor. The new Nigeria.
I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. There is a video you must have watched before this video. It shows the day Nigeria gained independence officially, October 1st, 1960. I was born a year before independence in April 27th. In that video, you will see children marching, celebrating. You will see a lot of celebrations. You see people dancing. For you to be colonized, for a people to be colonized, number one, the colonizers must assume that they are not humans, that they don't exist. They would assume that they deserve the land and the resources of the people more than the people do. They must see the people as mentally and spiritually, even culturally inferior to them for them to colonize the people. So colonization involves conquest. They will come by force. After conquest, there is collaboration between the local leaders, power blocks, and then there is an establishment of a new appetite, a consumer mentality. And so they brought things like mirrors, they brought gin, Gordon's gin, schnapps, they brought coral beads, they brought guns and whatever that they presented to the elite. So you establish a consumer mentality. And then because of superior military power, these leaders kowtow to the colonizers. And then you are made to feel that your culture is inferior. You're also made to feel that your religion is inferior. You are made to feel that your education is inferior. Because it's a mental game. The people visitors who came to Benin City first said that Benin City was like Amsterdam. Benin City had street lights then, hundreds of years back, with The street lights were with palm oil lamps. And then the streets radiated from the palace. And then the Benin Moat was the biggest man-made structure on earth, even till today. So the Benin Empire was not a weak system of governance, but there was conquest. Barbarian men was sent to exile because they didn't want them to come in during the Ogiso festival, if I'm still correct. One king in Ghana was exiled to Seychelles. Another one, I think from Buganda, kingdom in Uganda, was exiled to Seychelles. And so, conquest. And if you don't agree to collaborate with them, they remove you, they humiliate. And when the awareness of the people come up and they start protesting, they are met with violence. That's why the Egba women's riot was quelled forcefully. There was the riot that was quelled in Uganda. And I read in the history of policing in Africa, the colonial master was writing to the man in Uganda that he doesn't care about the rights of the people, that he should use brute force to suppress them. The Aba women riot, the same thing, brutally dealt with. And so those girls and boys that were marching and their fathers took over from the colonial masters. The real aim is dominance. Have dominion, have dominance. They will dominate you with their education, through their education, dominate you through their religion, dominate you through superior firepower, dominate you with their culture, dominate you by commerce. They will underpay you. And there was slavery. Carry your own people, sell them to them because they see you as subhuman. Why didn't their people go to plant the sugarcane and plant the whatever in the United States and in the UK? So they took our people, carried some of them, put in cages in Europe that people were looking at them like animals. See you as subhuman. And when they handed over to our leaders copied the same mentality of dominance, dominion over people. It wasn't in the interest of the people that they took over power. It was their own interest. And there's something instructive in the video that played before this one I'm doing now. It says that there was no gunshots. One of the problems with nations that got independence on a platter of gold without real struggle is that the general populace do not value the nation and the independence. There's no sense of ownership, unlike places like Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, several places where the people had to fight for the independence. There was bloodshed, there was imprisonment, violence. The people own the nation and they have a sense of national pride. As in Nigeria, we see ourselves as cattle without a shepherd. We just found ourselves grazing in an open field called Nigeria. And then these people started organizing us into their own territories and camps. So if you go further down, what is happening in this era, this particular era, in 2025? The same principles: conquest by violence, dominion by violence. The electoral process must be violent for you to win and to conquer the people. Imagine in Kogi State, Natasha Apoki and Yaya Bello, roads were excavated so that she could not pass. Imagine in Lagos State, people who came from overseas were brutalized, ballot boxes smashed, traditional ballets were intimidating people in all parts of the country. Violence. You snatch it, you grab it, because power given on a platter of gold is not valued. So they've realized it, that to dominate people, use violence. And the instruments they use the poor against the poor. They use the oppressed against the oppressed. They favor some criminals in the system, like the National Union of Road Transport Workers in some places. Remember, National Union of Road Transport Workers in Ibadan, the violence when one man was there, the violence, Tokyo, violence. Now in Lagos, MC Oluomo and his cronies. Imagine the one that is being tried for beating a dispatch rider to death because maybe he scratched his vehicle. Violence, they dominate you. All the drivers you see in this country dominated by violence. And so any little protest, they come with full force and they continue to dominate. They dominate until a point the people lose the will to agitate. They interact with traditional rulers, interact with religious leaders, and the religious leaders preach to subjugate you because even they themselves want you to be subject to them, to be controlled. Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Say after me. You wear their necklaces, you wear their rubber bands, you wear their aprons, you wear their clothes. I am this for life. You have been conquered. You have been dominated. You can't reason independently. You have been conquered. It takes real knowledge of Christ, knowledge of God, knowledge of who you are, knowledge of how this world operates before you can free yourself. And then one way people are dominated, as I said, is by making them consumers. You see, the ministers, they will give them, they consume. Ministers will give to permanent secretaries, governors, they give them, they consume. They will give to traditional rulers, they will give to your bishops, give to your native doctors, give to the imam. Conquered, dominated. Just look at what is happening in Benin. That Iyaloja, it's a Yoruba culture, want to bring it to Benin City. That was the Benin Kingdom. That was the kingdom of its own. There is always this dispute between Oduduwa and the Yoruba kingdom, Yoruba states, and the Benin kingdom. Who emerged first, who is who, and you want to come and impose the leadership of markets on people in Benin City. They had their own ever since, even when they have a king. The crisis in some parts of Delta State, like Warri, is dominion. One tribe will want to dominate another. This people will say, no, you can't dominate us. It's dominion. You want to dominate people. And the irony is that it is the poor that is used to fight the poor. If you go to Warri, for example, most of the people in the streets demonstrating, fighting, burning houses, they don't own buildings. They don't own buildings. They don't occupy political offices. They don't do contracts with Chevron and all those benefits that the community leaders get. They are not the president generals. Even if they are the president general, they are just stooges. They don't own anything. People struggling over Warri. Most of them don't own anything. It's just the head, the people that want to dominate your reasoning. And then those dominating, they don't have crisis. They relate with one another. They share together. They interact. As long as the people are oppressed. There is the Dr. Charles Apoki's balloon theory, that every socio-cultural political organization is like a balloon, and that unless you give avenues for ventilation of anger, frustration, challenges, and reduce the tension in the balloon, it eventually explodes. See, the Soviet Union broke down. The United Kingdom, even the French system is collapsing with Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali and some other countries coming together to form an organization, the Sahel states. So, this dominion. And on a personal note, schooling, which is very good, it's good to learn, know the rules, is to dominate your mindset. I'm an educated man, but if I had allowed the thought process, the system to dominate me, I would have been struggling to be a consultant, be a senior house officer, registrar, consultant, professor. I would not have been here. You wouldn't have been listening to me. If it is by religious duties, I'll be a pastor in my denomination. Then I'll grow. I'll come and become a presbyter. I'll become this, that. No. I charted a course outside that system. Several things. Running ministry. Maybe I will have been a general overseer. Started a church with. No. I broke rules. I broke the curtain, the confinement, so that I can be free. Nigeria, this system is going to suffocate us if we continue with this crop of leadership in PDP, in APC, in ADC, in Labour Party. All those running to ADC to form alliance, the same gang of human beings. I was listening to somebody said Obi could not liberate his states, that he wants to liberate Nigeria. As if he, when he was governor, could liberate his states. As if he, when he was a senator, could liberate his senatorial district. As if he, as a middle belt person, has liberated himself from the treachery and violence that is meted out to his people in his community. As if he can confidently go to his community and sleep overnight. So all of them you see, ADC, this, they are part of the past. There are a few you can select. But the truth of the matter, 2027, we elect these same people. We are further deepening our slavery and African colonization. We have not had real independence. We've not had. They just changed hands. That's why we must go to Chatham House. We just changed hands. Gave to a new set of people, those who paraded that day. And their children. They are now the ones dominating us. One day, monkey go markets. You know, go come back again. I am Dr. Charles Apoki. We'll soon run to the airports to catch a flight to receive an award from Atasaba. Subscribe to this channel. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. Even all the associations you belong to, apart from where you can air your voice, is Pengasin. This is dominion, colonization. God bless you. The number +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you.